What's up, Ludens? Welcome back to the Ludens Query Report for August 23rd, 2021. I am your host, Moses, and I'm joined today with two of my good friends, Ricky and Timo. What's up, guys?
What's up? It's been a while.
It's been a while. Timo, it's your first time here for a report.
The
Not your
Ludens
first
report.
time for a podcast.
No, exactly.
How are you? How
does
you
it feel?
feeling? Yeah.
How are you feeling?
You're
What's
in
going
the
through your
inner
mind
circle
right
now,
now?
bro. You're in the inner circle now.
You're part of the
Doing
elite.
good. I'm doing good. In their sanctum. I'm here. I'm good.
So how have you been spending your time outside of podcasts?
Outside of podcasts, I've been
Playing
working
Apex.
a lot, grinding new Apex Season 10. I've been playing a few free-to-play games on Stadia when I'm not on my console and stuff like that. And then just enjoying the weather. Not enjoying the weather, but enjoying summer, I should say.
You're not enjoying the weather?
Well, because that would mean I'm outside, which I'm not. Typical gamer, I'm still inside.
And so you have a PS5, but you're playing on Stadia.
Yeah. So I
Explain yourself.
I can be in bed.
Do we have time? Do we have time for this?
No, we
should
don't
be in
have
bed next to my
time. We
wife.
do not have time. Let me brief you, Timo. It's your first time here on the Ludens Query Report, but not your first time doing a Ludens Query podcast. Before we did our podcast, and it's more open topics about stuff that we like to discuss outside of regular, typical gaming reviews and gameplay stuff. It's more in-depth philosophical things, ideas, mindsets, different things. But for the report, we're just reporting on the things that happened during the week in the gaming industry.
What's going on right now? And
I
react to it.
The way we've been doing it, me and Ricky, I basically tell him the headlines, I tell him the news, and he reacts to it. And I'm pretty sure you're in the same boat, Timo. Like, you're not as in the know as I am. I'm in the know as much more than you guys, but probably not as much as
Because,
whoever is a professional journalist out there. But anyway,
because you're deep into Twitter. You're like swimming in the ocean known as Twitter.
Oh yeah, like
letting all these toxic tweets biting your bodies off, and you just like
swimming
being a
deep
part of it
in the ocean of Twitter, and the ocean is on fire, and I love it. It's such an entertaining thing. I watch from afar. I'm just swimming, and I'm seeing.
It's like you're on a boat and you're watching all the fish killing each other, just biting each other's head off, and you
it's
just
like National Geographic.
All right.
But yeah, so Timo, I'm gonna tell you the news. I'm gonna read you the news as we go along with the show, and we're gonna get your takes on it. And sometimes we get some interesting news, some stuff that you definitely have not heard of or know about, and it will bring forth a very entertaining time. I have fun with it. I really like this. And this is what I'm going to be focusing on for our Ludens Query channel.
Right,
for those of you watching on stream, we are recording for our YouTube channel and podcast on podcast services all around the internet. So if you do chat and expect a response, we will answer any of your questions afterwards. You can have discussions amongst yourselves with topics that we bring up. But during the recording, we will not really be interacting with the chat.
Like, feel free to type in the chat, but we'll respond afterwards.
Yeah, we'll have a little post show after our recording. Our recording will usually be around 1 hour. We try to keep it within that time frame. And
we'll see for today, since there's 3 of us.
Yeah, I'm gonna still see if we can keep it to an hour.
Yeah.
With that being said, we're going to jump in to the news that we have today.
Let's do it.
All right. For the Ludens Query Report for August 23rd, 2021, we have 5 items on the agenda.
5?
5. So we're...
All right.
The way I've been doing it, the meaty stuff first, and then it tapers down.
All right.
Well, it depends on your interpretation of it. So, we have 5 items. First up, we have Inside the Mind of Hermen Hulst. If you don't know who that is the head of PlayStation Studios, succeeding Shuhei Yoshida. Number 2 on our report, Halo Infinite to launch without campaign co-op or forge mode. Number 3, Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut gets review bombed on Metacritic.
Oh, wow.
Number 4, Gamescom 2021 goes live in 2 days. And the last thing we're going to talk about today, Cowboy Bebop, live action Netflix adaptation. That's I don't know how to take that reaction. For those of you listening to podcasts and not watching, explain your reaction to what I just said about Cowboy Bebop.
God save us.
We're going to talk about it. But first, we're going to talk about Hermen Hulst and an interview that he did with Game Informer. So I read this interview with Game Informer, specifically Kimberly Wallace, and it's a good interview. I highly recommend it. I'll try to put a link in the description of the video, but if you are interested and curious about this entire interview, I'm not going to read the whole thing. It's quite lengthy, but I do have some highlighted portions that I think will bring about some interesting discussion. Go to Game Informer and search up Inside the Mind of PlayStation Studios Hermen Hulst. And I will read the following from Game Informer. Let me switch here. So, I didn't even... Here. I have to...
Where's the screen? The screen's not there?
Yes, I have it. For you guys. Just for you guys. Okay, do you see it?
Yeah.
I can see it.
Okay.
All right.
Right.
Well,
Inside the Mind of PlayStation Studios' Hermen Hulst by Kimberly Wallace, written August 20th, 2021 on Game Informer. It reads, Hermen Hulst hasn't been head of PlayStation Studios for long, only taking over the position from gaming industry veteran Shuhei Yoshida about a year and a half ago. However, in that time, he's had to contend with the console launch, the complications of COVID-19 on game development, and helping studios launch some of Sony's most successful and inventive games such as The Last of Us Part 2, Returnal, and Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. PlayStation Studios is an international network of development studios creating gaming experiences. Hulst is tasked with leading the 12 internal studios under the banner and ensuring the developers have the resources and support they need. The list of talent includes industry juggernauts such as Insomniac Games for Ratchet & Clank, Guerrilla Games for Horizon Zero Dawn, Sucker Punch for Ghost of Tsushima, Naughty Dog for Uncharted and The Last of Us, and Santa Monica Studios for God of War, and Media Molecule for Dreams, to name a few. It goes on and really goes into depth about Hermen Hulst's past and his experience with gaming, but the things I've highlighted, we're going to talk about. So he talks about his experience, how he, in his life, takes his past experience with gaming, how he grew up, and brings it into his role in leadership. So he says, Hulst says he thinks about things very conceptually concerning designers' intentions when he plays games, but he also gets those nostalgic feelings from his gaming childhood too. He points to Housemarque's Returnal as a recent game that gave him the best of both worlds. When I pick up Returnal, I go straight back to that old experience on the Vectrix, he said. But then I think, wow, so this is a very arcadey experience. But somehow we found a way to get a layered story on top of that. In Hulst's eyes, what makes a good, interesting game is in line with what PlayStation excels at. Quote, I say this as the head of PlayStation Studios. And that's the kind of games we're known for. A very meticulously crafted, beautifully directed story that takes place in a world that is really inviting to spend time in, end quote, he says. Quote, that's some of the most joy I've had in games. That definitely speaks to that single-player narrative-driven, character-based experience that I've worked on a lot myself. That I now work on with a lot of great studios at PlayStation Studios. It goes more into depth, and the thing that really catches my eye about this is what he says about the future of the games that are developed by PlayStation Studios. It reads, it's clear Hulst is passionate about games and thinking about how they work, but he's also just as passionate about risk-taking and making bold decisions. Shifting from the Killzone series to Horizon Zero Dawn was a significant learning experience for Hulst, and he takes the lessons from it into how he leads at PlayStation Studios. Quote, I encourage our teams to be fiercely daring in their choices, and they are, but it also means that I have to back them, he says. I think that our teams have been really brave, and that's not just with entire franchise pivots, but it's also going into Norse mythology on God of War. It's The Last of Us Part 2's narrative structure in creating an experience that is incredibly compelling, but not necessarily comfortable for the player at all times. I back that. I want us to push the envelope and seek the boundaries of our medium and the state of the art of storytelling. I think that is why we do what we do with PlayStation. And then it reads even more, going into the future of PlayStation Studios, how he thinks about multi-platform and releasing these first-party games on multiple platforms like Xbox and PC. Like I said, it is a lengthy interview, but the thing that I really got away from that was what I just last read. How he says that he encourages our teams to be fiercely daring in their choices and
taking risks,
to be brave and to take risks. And I wanted to get your takes on this, what he said about this. Let me just go back to our faces here. Yeah. So Ricky, when I read that and you hear how this is the head of PlayStation Studios, what does that make you think about for the future of PlayStation games?
Well, it's good and bad. Mm-hmm. Like I take that as like in two different ways. From a pure gaming perspective, I'm happy because what we want is more diverse genre of gaming, discovering different ways of delivering a gaming experience, so to speak. Taking chances we can see with, like you mentioned already, or like you mentioned, from going from Killzone to Horizon, or even Last of Us 2, hate it or like it. Yeah. It's a different way. It's a pretty unexpected way of delivering a sequel to a well-beloved game, right? Mm-hmm. So they are definitely taking chances. Or even God of War, going from what they're familiar with, the kind of isometric, crazy, button mashing, bloody hack and slash to a more Souls-like combat with a much more stronger emphasis on narrative. Mm-hmm. So all those changes are basically going out of their comfort zone, and I welcome that. That's a good thing to me. Yeah, that means they're not just settling. They are willing to take risk and chances, and that's a problem with a lot of AAA titles these days. Because they're investing so much money into the games, they have to make sure they are getting a good amount of return, and because of that, they have to be safe. They have to appeal to the lowest common denominator, and that's why a lot of these games come out as really generic and bland, and it's the same game over and over again. There is that problem. So in that sense, I'm happy. I'm really happy that they are going and pushing with this idea. But at the same time, when I hear the phrases like, "Oh, we're trying to be brave. We're trying to be different," it scares me a little bit. Mm-hmm. Because as you know, the trend these days, especially on Twitter, what's the best way to put this? Let's just say social justice warrior. They're always trying to tell people to be brave, to be who you are, represent representations. So that's my concern. Like I hope to see more diverse characters or story or background, but at the same time, I don't want that to be the focus.
Right. I see
Like
what you're saying.
you don't want I don't want to see a character to be a main character because that person is of a certain gender, certain race or whatever. Like that's not what defines a character. Like don't do that. Give us an actual compelling character.
You don't want the developers to make it pandering to a certain.
Yeah, we don't want to pander. Like create something you genuinely want to create.
Yeah.
Don't pander to those people because let's face it, the people who complain on Twitter, they're not the ones who buy games.
Oh, we're gonna talk about Twitter hate and
so
we'll get into that. We'll get into that.
So like hearing those keywords scares me a little bit, but I'm sure I have confidence from what I've seen in the past few years. I'm sure they legit mean making a good variety of games. So overall, what I take from that, it's a very positive note. I'm very happy with that.
Yeah. Timo.
I didn't see that negative side to it on from the take from what Ricky's saying there. But what I do know, what I find different with PlayStation versus other AAA companies, and we'll call out Activision, EA, those type of guys. The problem with them, as much as they own a lot of IPs, they don't do a lot with them. Right, so that's a problem. EA buys up all these IPs, never does anything with them. Right, they have like Command and Conquer, they have Dead Space, they have all these other IPs that they own. Nothing. No, Star Wars, nothing. Like they don't do anything with it, right? One company that I think is doing really well right now with this is Eidos Montreal, I think it's called, and they have the rights to Marvel right now, and they're pushing Marvel Avengers, and they're doing. What do you call it? Guardians of the Galaxies. They're working on those.
That's
Square Enix. They're Square Enix.
Square Enix, sorry. But they got the licensing for that, and they're doing something with it. My point is to say with that, PlayStation is the reason why they're very successful is because they have 12 studios underneath them, so they're able to do different types of stories for different types of studios, right? And able to, like the CEO is saying there, he's saying that we can push the envelope, we can be brave into stepping out into different storylines because we don't put all of our eggs into one basket. We have different studios to do different types of things, right? And I think that is why PlayStation has been successful over the years, is because they can take those risks, but it's not their main thing, right? It's not their main studio. Like, for instance, Activision or like EA, as much as they do have these separate studios, right? They tend to put all their eggs in one basket. And, if it's Call of Duty, we're just going to crank out Call of Duties every year instead of saying, hey, is there something else we can do that can be just the next hit? Something hasn't really come out of Activision that we'll say, oh, it's groundbreaking and it's a whole new type of game, right? This is why Fortnite came out years ago and ended up dominating the industry, because it came out with something different. Right, so I think the companies that are going to survive in the future are the ones that do try to do something different and bring something different to the genre. And I think PlayStation does a good job of doing that. And even to Ricky's point, even if they do tend to go after more of the social aspects or the culture aspects that they do have, I'm very confident that it would be woven really well into a story and not be just pandering to certain groups, because we see this in I'm just going to take this to TV shows and stuff like that, where CW tries to do this with their superhero genre with Arrow and Smallville and all the not Smallville, Flash and all these other things, and they make these other side shows. And because they're trying to pander to these different shifts in culture and stuff like that, they don't always do it well, and it comes off weird, right?
Yeah,
instead of actually
it's not genuine.
Yeah,
instead of coming with genuine.
Yeah, instead of coming with a genuine story that actually makes sense,
Yeah, I should clarify. I'm not saying Sony is pandering right now.
No.
Hearing those words, it kind of worries me. They might go in that direction. Like, I'm not saying they're doing that right now.
Yeah.
My take on it is that the PlayStation Studios track record is just incredible. Like all the examples that they mentioned in the article that Hermen Hulst himself has mentioned: God of War, Last of Us Part 2, Returnal. Last of Us Part 2 is probably the one that it might be the most risky out of all of them, especially with the storytelling. Exactly what you're saying, Ricky, with it could come across as pandering. And that's definitely how a lot of people took it, and they got a lot of hate from it because of that. But when I play that, when I think back on it, and really, reflect on my experience with The Last of Us Part 2, everything was very organic. The writing was really well done, and I think everyone tends to forget that these games have been worked on for years, and they're researched for years, and these writers, these directors, these actors, they have more of a connection to these characters than the fans do. But the fans, they want to be right. Then they want to, they take to Twitter, they say their take and things like that, and it blows up. But I don't think that that's going to be a problem with the track record that PlayStation Studios has with the Last of Us Part 2, God of War, all those different risks. Like that risk for Killzone, and then going into Horizon Zero Dawn for Guerrilla Games, or for Santa Monica Studios going from God of War 3, and then really flipping the gameplay loop on its head for God of War 2018. Like those are risks that really do pay off. And
Like
eventually
there
eventually there might be the risk that isn't successful, but from that one risk or that one failure, there's going to be dozens of successful titles that took risks and were incredible games because of that. And just listening or reading that article gives me a lot of very good feelings inside about the future of PlayStation Studios. So number 2, we're gonna move from PlayStation to Xbox.
Oh boy.
Halo Infinite is going to launch without a campaign co-op or Forge mode, and fans are upset.
So what is Forge mode? What is Forge mode? Because I've never played Halo. I know nothing about it.
So I don't have as much experience as well with Halo, but I do know that Forge mode, it's basically like create your own map type of thing. Create your own arena, I believe.
Okay.
Please comment or in the chat, tell me if I'm wrong. Or
if we're wrong, correct us. Leave a comment.
Explain what Forge mode is, but just from the definition alone, it's pretty self-explanatory. You can create your own map in the multiplayer, and then you can publish that, and you have anybody can play on that map for any game mode, which is good. It was a very popular feature, I believe, in Halo 3. Halo 3 on Xbox 360. But I have an article here on Polygon.
So you're saying it's a campaign co-op and Forge mode that won't be released on day one.
Halo Infinite won't have campaign co-op or Forge mode at launch. The announcement was made Friday in a video update by 343 Industries. This article is written by Charlie Hall over at Polygon on August 20th, 2021. He writes, Halo Infinite won't launch with 2 of the franchise's most desirable features. Developers at 343 Industries said Friday that campaign co-op and the multiplayer map editing Forge mode won't be available when the game arrives. Forge, in particular, will lag behind about 6 months. The announcement was made on YouTube. Quote, unfortunately, as we focused the team for shutdown and really focused on a quality experience for launch, we made the really tough decision to delay shipping campaign co-op for launch, Stanton said. And we also made the tough call to delay shipping Forge past launch as well, end quote. 343 announced 1 year ago that Halo Infinite would miss its original 2020 launch window, delaying the game into 2021. It still has no firm release date. On Friday, 343 said that the co-op campaign mode would be released as Season 2 of Halo Infinite's post-launch content, and the Forge mode would be part of Season 3. Stanton said that these modes were delayed in order to ensure the quality of the base game. Quote, "Our number one priority is making sure that whenever we ship it, it meets the right quality bar across all platforms," he said in the video. And when we looked at these two experiences, campaign co-op and Forge, we made the determination they're just not ready. And as a studio, we don't want to ship things if they're not ready. End quote. Cooperative play has been at the heart of the Halo franchise since the beginning. Forge mode, which allows players to build their own multiplayer levels in game modes and share them online, was introduced with Halo 3 in 2007. Timo, have you had past experience with Halo?
Yes, I have. I haven't played since what's the one with all the one without, I think it's called Reach.
The one with the green armor.
Yeah. No, I love Halo. When it originally started, I played up to 3, and then I played Reach. I haven't played any of the DLCs or anything else after that. Obviously, because I switched to PlayStation. Back then it was PC, but
a life-changing decision.
I was a hardcore PC guy for a while. But anyway, so I understand the decisions that they make. I understand why the Forge wouldn't be in for sure. Doing Forge different from back in the day with Halo 3 is different than what you would do nowadays. There's way more coding, way more stuff involved than they used to back with older games. I used to like quote unquote hack games back in the day, and you would favorite game was Command and Conquer, and you would change the rate of fire, make every character have rail guns, whatever you did. Like back then, it was a little bit easier to do that. So for them to do it nowadays would be different because just that we have hackers, we have all kind of things that are nowadays that the industry is totally different. So for them, they have to make a proper ecosystem that you could make these new maps and different things like that and still keep the integrity of the game. So I would assume that is why that is delayed. Also, co-op is another thing because back in the day, it wasn't online co-op. Now we're doing online co-op, so that's another thing that could throw a wrench into it. And obviously, we had delays with COVID last year, so that has thrown that into a wrench into it. And then we also had the feedback where the quality of the game wasn't there, graphics-wise. So I know they've been working a lot on trying to improve that. So from what I've heard, the betas have been going well. People have been liking the beta testing for it and stuff like that, so it looks promising. And since it's going to be free to play for the multiplayer or whatever.
The multiplayer, yeah.
I think I'm going to definitely check it out on PC because it's free to play and it's Halo. So it's like one of those, like it's Coca-Cola. Like it's the mainstay game of modern day gaming, I think. So it makes sense that they drop it. I mean, it makes sense, and like I always say, like they're bleeding money right now. So the fact that they're trying to do that is probably to make sure that they can most likely have a Christmas launch, which is probably what they're trying to do. Where they're gonna make their most money if they have it released by October, hopefully.
Right.
So
Ricky, is it fair to say that you are the opposite of a Halo fan?
You could say that. Well, I don't necessarily hate it. Like I love to like talk shit about it, just for for jokes.
Yeah.
But in reality, it's more of I'm in a neutral zone. I don't really care about it.
They're indifferent. Yeah.
I'm just indifferent to it. Legit. It's a game. People like it. That's fine.
Right.
Although the way I look at it, like looking at this game from basically a third-person perspective, because I have no stake, I have no attachment to this franchise. The way I look at it, I feel like they should, at this point, I know they want to release the game in time for holiday seasons. That's like a lot of potential sales, right? But at the same time, I I would think they should wait a little longer. Like they've already delayed the game like long enough, right? It's the game has been memed to death already. It doesn't hurt to delay it even further. What do you want to do? You want to launch a game in a good state.
Yeah.
I know this is like it's like comparing like an elephant to like a little puppy. But if you look at Street Fighter V, how it launched, they had the similar problem. They said, okay, story mode will be coming later. A lot of extra like arcade mode, all this stuff will be coming later. We'll give you a free update. For now, you can just play a simple like survival mode and online mode, and that's what most people want, right? So they launched a game, and people hated it. It was memed to death. People talk shit about it. It almost killed the game. So from that experience, like they kind of learned their lesson that okay, when we launch a game, we want to launch it in a good state with all the features people want. So when I look at Halo Infinite, at the very least, they should launch it with campaign co-op. The Forge, like that's I feel like okay, let people play the online multiplayer, let them have fun with that. Then maybe after 2 or 3 months introduce that. That's fine, right? 6 months is a little too long. I feel like that's a bit too long. So for like they have a lot of reputation riding on this game right now. This is like the premier game for the next gen Xbox. So you want to present it with the best possible look.
Yeah.
So for them to launch a game in that state, I have some concerns. Like even though I don't really care about the game, I still want it to do good. I don't want to see games fail.
Yeah.
So ideally, I want people to like it at the beginning, because that first impression, if it's not good, kind of like Street Fighter, people just start hating on it, and a lot of people might just like, all right, okay, they won't bother coming back 6 months later to see the state of the game because they've already lost interest.
Yeah.
So that an initial impression is very important, and that's why I think they should just delay it again.
It's a catch-22 though, because campaign co-op is not needed nowadays, and every Call of Duty has come out without co-op, right?
But
for
that's
campaign.
That's the thing here.
That's the thing. Well, it's what it really needs is different from what people say. Because same thing in Street Fighter, no one cares about story mode. No one plays arcade mode. Everyone only plays online versus. That's like I'll say that's what 80% of people play in Street Fighter. But the fact that they still made a big blunder at the beginning and people shat on it to the point it almost killed the game. That initial word of mouth, because like still like typical Twitter stuff, people love to hate on stuff. If you give them a chance, they will hate on it, and that will tank the ratings or score of the game, the Metacritic of the game. Then that's what you want to avoid.
We're gonna get into that, but first, my thought on it is that making games is hard, and I think I think everybody on Twitter, all the fanboys in this war, this unnecessary war, they do not understand how hard it is to make a game without COVID, and then bring about COVID,
damn, like
for a year and a half, almost 2 years, or approaching 2 years, and it doesn't show signs of slowing down. And you know, like 343 Industries, people just see that name and they just see one entity, but in that name alone, there's hundreds of employees, you know, working their hardest to try and come out with trying to bring a game to fans and to players in the best possible state. And they said it in that YouTube video, you know, from what I just read. And yeah, like everyone is just disappointed, and that's fair. It's fair.
It's
to be
fair. Like, you know,
like,
you want to play the game soon, but at the same time, like
but
please
that's
understand.
Man, I don't know. I think right now we're in a transitionary period in terms of publishers in how they market their games, because you know there's all of these unforeseen circumstances with pandemic and you know wrenches in the development process, whatever. This game was supposed to come out last year, 2020, like holiday, you know, launch window for Xbox, and then.
But then again, well, you
know,
can't plan for COVID, though.
Shat on the game because we saw that preview and like,
Oh yeah, that didn't exactly
That
look
didn't.
great.
Yeah, it didn't look great.
That's why it's important. That first impression, you have to leave a
Mm-hmm.
good first impression.
Exactly, and I agree. I agree. I agree.
Mhm.
But campaign co-op has been a very integral part of the Halo experience, and that's why a lot of people are disappointed. Like that's the main like game for some people. Like a lot of people don't like multiplayer or PvP, and a lot of the reasons why there's Halo fans is because of Halo 2 with the story and the
Yeah,
music and the first experience
yeah. Well, there's the
with
reason why
Halo
Master Chief
combat
is so popular
yeah,
because of the story mode,
yeah,
the
exactly.
campaign mode.
And I know for sure that 343 Student Industries, they want to live up to that expectation for a Halo game. And campaign co-op, being able to experience that with a friend, especially, during a time when COVID restrictions, right? You can't interact with people, and it now is a very good time to be able to play online with friends. Campaign
Yeah.
co-op, experiencing a co-op campaign from beginning to end with a good friend of yours that's also a Halo fan, and you're just fanboying over the Halo story, this Halo Infinite game you've been waiting a year
Yeah.
for, and it
So
like
it's like put it this way, like if it comes to right now with with no co-op and you want to play with your friend, are you just gonna hold on to the game and not
that,
play campaign,
that's what
or
I'm.
spoil it for yourself, then play it like a co-op with your friend afterwards?
What did they
It
say?
doesn't make sense.
They said that they're gonna come out with the co-op campaign mode season 2. So not even season 1. Usually seasons last 3 months, right?
Mhm.
So after 3 months of launch, like, are people really not going to play the campaign for three
Yeah, like
months? That's basically delaying the game
yeah, in a sense, like so all
for a
people can
lot of
really do is
people.
play the online multiplayer, but that is free to play. So why
Yeah,
not just release the online multiplayer?
everything all
Yeah,
together. Yeah.
except for and then save the actual game, the Forge and whatever, and the campaign.
Yeah.
Push that back 6 months, then release it as a complete package.
No, that would be the smart thing to do, right?
But that's what I'm saying. So that's looking like a March release versus a December release or
Yeah, like
October
it's like
release, right?
you're gonna lose out on the holiday sales, but at the same time you're
But it's
saving the reputation of the game.
not really any sales because of the Game Pass, right? Like it would be on Game Pass.
Well, though day one,
Yeah, it's
I think they confirmed that, right?
I'm pretty sure every single Xbox first party studio game is going to be day one release on Game Pass.
Ah, okay.
But yeah, like is exactly what you said. The multiplayer PvP modes, they should be released in the holiday
Yeah.
of this year, and then delay the actual campaign.
Yep, the
right?
campaign Forge
Polish
mode.
that as much as possible.
That's
But
interesting.
fans are upset. Fanboys, they are
It's
really taking this news and using it against the Xbots out there, all the ponies. They are using this as ammunition. There's like, how long y'all gonna wait for this game? But here's the thing. They're firing back, and like in retaliation, the Xbox fanboys are like, hey, what about Last of Us Part 2 Factions mode? When is that coming out? And that's like the war that's going on with this topic in particular.
oh
That's
god.
not
right?
integral to the game.
Well, this is why I stay away from Twitter, man. My
Yeah,
god.
like the fanboy, arguments are just so childish and shallow, and it's hilarious to watch. Like The Last of Us Part 2, that's what it is. It's supposed to be a narrative single player experience, and
Yeah.
then Factions is a bonus, just like how
Yeah.
Legends of Ghost of Tsushima was a bonus to the single player experience. But
Yeah.
campaign co-op is integral to the Halo experience, right?
Yeah.
And Forge mode has been tied to Halo since Halo 3. It was introduced in Halo 3, and those are very popular features in the game. But yeah, mentioning Ghost of Tsushima and this fanboy wars, we're moving on.
Twitter wars.
And Twitter wars. the Flame Wars. We're moving on to number 3 on our report. Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut gets review bombed. Is there an article for Yes, there is. There's really not much to this news. It's the game released and then.
Are people just leaving a score and that's it? They're not even writing a review as to why it's bad.
I have an article. Let's get some context here.
I'm curious. Like, what are people complaining about, or what justification are they using?
So here, on PSU.com, PlayStation Universe, I believe. Yeah. Ghost of Tsushima bomb. The Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut is getting review bombed on Metacritic. This is written by David Carcasol. I'm so sorry if I butchered your name.
Butchered the name. Twitter hates coming.
David C.
Moses. He's gonna get canceled.
August 23rd, 2021. He writes, very short article. Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut has now been out for a few days, which means that users can now post their reviews. Though while this tactic was initiated to try and curb review bombing, that hasn't stopped it from happening to Ghost of this hasn't stopped it from happening to Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut, which is currently being review bombed on website Metacritic. First spotted on Reddit, their user scores for Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut are not looking as good as some of the critic reviews, with a growing 242 negative reviews, putting the game's overall average at 6.4, with reception being mixed. It got way lower than 6.4. I believe it got as low as 2.6.
Wow.
The review bombing is at times politically charged, as was partly the case with The Last of Us Part 2. It appears most of the negative reviews cite feelings of being robbed for the Director's Cut high price on PS5, even if you're simply upgrading from the PS4 version of the game. The concerns around the price don't just come from those who felt the added Iki Island content was too short, but also those who point to the entire upgrade process being poor and simply, quote, a cash grab. Ricky, what's your take on this?
Well, that's rich coming from people who can, spend $10-20 to upgrade their game, and then they turn around, go to Fortnite, spend $50 on skins. Explain yourself, kids. Explain yourself. Why? How does a virtual piece of clothing is worth more than an actual game that's been as we said before, it takes a lot of time and resources to make a game.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense. They want some compensation, right? They games doesn't come for free. You're asking for too much. People are being way too entitled.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe the upgrade, it's like what, $20-30, something like that.
If you have the original copy on the PS4, if you wanted to, this is US dollars. If you wanted to just get the expansion, for the PS4, then it is $20. But if you wanted to upgrade from your PS4 version to the PS5 version, it would be $30. So a $10 difference.
But it shows $90 here for the PS5 version, right?
Oh, if you get
if it's a standalone.
If you don't own the game already.
So what's the problem with the price then?
It's a $10 difference.
There's no problem
between the PS4 and the PS5.
PS5. I think that's what people are outraged over. The PS4 version. I mean, the PS5 costs $10 more than the PS4 version.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's next gen. So.
I
don't understand that.
Exactly. I think Timo's reaction is perfect. His reaction explains what's wrong with people these days.
This is the thing surrounding this particular subject. It's all about context, and context is everything. So a lot of people are angry because of the context of the industry right now. Plenty of developers in the past have released upgrades like next gen PS5 upgrades, introducing DualSense features, upgrading the resolution and frame rate
for free.
So
that is
like some examples would be Doom Eternal, Borderlands 3, even Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, it was a similar situation. The upgrade is like, or the expansion is like $20 US, but if you wanted to get the PS5 version, it's free. And that's the context in which the director's cut of Ghost of Tsushima is releasing in. But they went in a different direction because it's $10 more, right?
So what I want to know is, I haven't played it, so I think what will really makes a difference is how much DualSense or haptic feedback features they put into the PS5 version. That is the main thing, because a lot of the other examples we mentioned, it's just a simple resolution and frame rate upgrade.
Yeah.
Well, whereas the haptic feedback is very minimal. It's just like, it's bare bones. It might as well not be there. It might as well just be a regular rumble feature.
So
it's the main thing.
I have been playing the director's cut of Ghost of Tsushima. I'm like 12 hours in, and the upgrades are there. I wouldn't say that they're absolutely amazing.
For the haptic feedback?
For the haptic feedback, because context. Astro's Playroom, that's just the standard that I feel every PlayStation studio needs to reach. Or any studio that wants to, any studio that wants to introduce haptic feedback features in their game. But here's also the thing. Astro's Playroom, I'm trying to understand. I'm not a game dev. I don't know how hard it is to implement a feature like haptic feedback in a game that's already built, right? Whereas Astro's Playroom was built from the ground up with DualSense in mind, with that, making sure that every single aspect of the game is built around the DualSense features itself.
Yeah, because the game is designed to showcase the whole.
It's a tech demo for the DualSense,
pretty much,
but it's also a really great game.
It's legit, like a really good game.
Yeah. And that's the thing that I'm trying to understand. So Ghost of Tsushima, it's already been out for more than a year, and all of its foundations are set. I don't know what it takes for them to go back into the code, the original code, and to add in, DualSense features for different terrain, like how in Astro's Playroom, different materials when you walk over it, they feel different on the controller. For an open world game, how much materials, how much different types of ground are you walking over, and the DualSense features, the haptic feedback, it's much more prominent when you're riding a horse. You definitely feel the galloping of the horse and the feeling of the wind. So the features are there. They're just not that dramatic. But, for me, Astro's Playroom has definitely spoiled me.
Well, let's look at it this way. Back to Tsushima. I feel like regardless, it's a lose-lose situation, because let's say you make it $20 across the board. $20 for the expansion for both PS4 and PS5. Then the PS4 people, they're going to complain and saying, why are we paying the same price as the PS5 people, but we don't get access to the same features? It's going to be the same thing, regardless of how they charge it. Whether it's the same price or different price, they're going to complain. Because, like, legit, they are paying the same price as people on the PS5, but they're getting less features as the PS5 version. Then from a value standpoint, that makes no sense. And that is ammo for them to outrage over. And if they charge $20 for the PS5 version and $10 for the PS4, then we're back to the original situation. Why are you charging $10 more for an next gen upgrade? That makes no sense.
Wait,
so there's no winning for Tsushima. No matter what people, if they want to hate on it, they can hate on it. Unless they just
what I've been thinking
give us
about,
the expansion for free.
What I've been thinking about is, what if they made the PS4 version $30, the same price as the PS5 version, and like they said, included are the free upgrades with this $30 purchase. If that was the announcement, like, no one would be mad. But
they will be mad because, like I said, like, they will be like, why do I have to pay $30 for the PS4 version and I don't get the 4K and haptic feedback?
They wouldn't be mad for the reasons why they're mad now.
it will be a different reason, but they still be mad. That's the problem. They're gonna be mad regardless.
They
will find a reason to be mad.
I don't think they would be as mad.
I think they will.
In that alternate timeline, where
no,
the
I
upgrade
I
is
feel like
$30, whether PS4 or PS5, like there
think you
wouldn't be as
underestimate
much
Twitter, man.
outrage.
You underestimate Twitter. I think people will still be mad. They love to be mad.
I haven't seen that take. I haven't seen that take on Twitter. Like with Final Fantasy Remake Intergrade. That was the same situation. It's like $20.
Well, I feel like it's just there's already been a lot of outrage for Tsushima before, even before this whole those fiasco. So I feel like people are just finding a reason to hate on it. And I truly believe they're just finding a reason to hate on it.
My question though is, how much percentage of people actually upgrade, or how much people actually go out and get the director's cut? Because that will kind of play into it, right? Because for me, I haven't played Tsushima yet, right? So I see $90 for the director's cut. I've waited this time, so now I'm going to be able to play the director's cut brand new from the straight, right? So I wonder how much new people play the game versus how much people upgrade the game.
It doesn't matter.
It's a single player experience, right?
It doesn't matter because, like I said earlier, people who complain online, they don't actually play the games. They're finding reasons to complain.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's why I think businesses end up doing certain maneuvers, because they know the data doesn't, at the end of the day, whether you complain or not, doesn't reflect in the numbers. You know what I'm saying? They do this with Apex Legends all the time. People can complain about something, but then it doesn't necessarily track in the stats, right?
Yeah.
So I wonder on the money side for this development company, if they either here nor there, if they get a low rating on Metacritic, does that really affect their sales? Does that affect anything really?
Well, there's
maybe
the whole thing with
marginally.
Well, there's the whole thing with Metacritic. I don't know if this applies to who makes Sucker Punch, right? For Tsushima?
Yeah.
Because some publisher, they will pay out a bonus to the devs based on Metacritic, the score.
Okay. Interesting.
So that, like, I don't know if this will affect Sucker Punch. I'm hoping Sony or whoever can see past these bullshit and actually give them their fair share. But if this happened to some other random dev, they could very easily gotten screwed over by the publisher. There's like, look at Metacritic. You're only getting a 6 out of 10. Nope, you don't get the bonus.
I don't know how true that bonus thing is. I wouldn't imagine PlayStation would do that.
Well, I don't know about now, but I think that was legit back in the PS3, maybe even or early PS4 days. Yeah.
Interesting.
And this is why Metacritic can just burn in hell for all I care.
But that's the user score. We're talking about the user score, where users.
No, this is going back to one of the old podcasts where I went on a long rant saying we shouldn't even use numbers to judge games, but that's a different topic.
Yeah. Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut, I think, is definitely worth it. Like I bought the physical version. Like I could have upgraded, but like I love the game so much, I'm revisiting it again.
Apparently, if you're playing in Japanese, it has lip sync now. Eh?
Yeah, that's one of the, but it's only on PS5 because it's utilizing the hardware with the PS5 in order to put that feature in. Okay, I'll just finish with this bit of information about Ghost of Tsushima. So Ghost of Tsushima, they utilize the whole disk space for the Blu-ray, and they couldn't fit anything else in. So if they wanted to add in Japanese lip sync, they would have to like introduce like brand new, what's it called, or assets or animations specifically for the Japanese lip sync.
Yeah.
And there would just simply be no space left to put that on the disc. And the reason why it only is on PS5 is because with the SSD, they allow it to basically render real time the Japanese lip sync. And I forget what the technical thing is about it, but that's what it does. There's some program that runs the Japanese lip sync, and it runs real time with the SSD. And Japanese lip sync.
Crazy. That's awesome.
Subarashi.
Yeah. So it's
Okay.
getting review bombed. It doesn't deserve it, and
It's a great game, man. Please
it's
play
it's
it.
a great game. It's $10. Why are y'all so mad? Like,
Just buy one less skin in Fortnite and you can
so,
afford
like
it.
don't go to McDonald's. Don't buy your drink at Starbucks.
Yeah.
Like those
Buy
are
one
things
less.
that perish.
Just don't buy your grande mocha with extra cream on it and from Starbucks for like 2 days. 2 days. Then you can
Not
afford
even.
it.
That's one day.
That's one day.
You're
Is that how
one
much
trip.
it costs?
That's how much
One
it
day
costs,
plus
bro.
a drink.
One
Yeah,
trip.
just buy one less. You can
And
engage them
especially-
in some weight reduction. You know that's great, right?
Especially if you're getting it delivered. You're one drink delivered. Like, just stay home, play the Iki
Yeah,
Island
go to Tsushima,
expansion.
yeah.
You know, just get lost in that world for a couple dozen hours. Anyway,
Yeah.
moving on to number 4 on our report here. Gamescom 2021
yes.
goes live in 2 days. What do I have here?
This is actually something I've heard some rumors about. But I'll leave it to you.
Okay, so the only thing I have here to talk really about is just the general news of it coming out in 2 days, but also the nominations for Gamescom awards at the actual event.
Yes.
So I have here the list of nominations for the Gamescom awards, and I believe these are just what's going to be showcased at Gamescom. There's a bunch of information here regarding it. I've skimmed it, and basically these are based on submissions from the actual publishers.
Yeah.
And these don't represent all the games that are going to be shown.
Yeah.
These are just games that the publishers have put in a submission,
or at least nominated for the award.
Yeah, they put in a submission for these nominations. So
Yeah.
it being on these nomination lists doesn't necessarily mean that it deserves these awards. They basically bought their spot. That's my understanding of it. If that's different, please leave a comment and correct us. But yes, Elden Ring is basically half of these nominations.
And I'm not sure if this is part of here, but from what I heard, so like buying a spot here is one thing, but also another requirement to be on this list is the publisher or the dev has to present a 10-minute gameplay of the game. So this is the rumors I've heard. That means, based on what I've heard about that, it means we will be getting gameplay footage for Elden Ring.
Yes. Okay, so I have here the procedure to submit. So these are, I guess, the requirements.
Okay. So let's see.
From July 19th to August 3rd, game developers can submit their games for the different categories of the Gamescom award. The jury will nominate 3 favorites in each category. The evaluation is based on a point system. The nominees will be announced on August 23rd, 2021. Wait. Oh yeah.
Today.
That's today. That's why I'm reading this. In the press release and here on the Gamescom award page. The winners of the group categories of the category groups, genre, platform, and Gamescom Global Awards will be selected by the jury. The audience will vote for the winners of the Consumer Awards. The winners will be announced at the Gamescom Opening Night Live on August 25th and at the end of Gamescom in the Gamescom studio. And the jury is around 30 experts from the gaming industry. So that's assessment criteria. Okay. I think this is the information we want to know. The jury will assess the submitted games based on gameplays following 7 fixed criteria. Each assessment criterion will be assigned with a score on a scale of from 1 to 10. Sorry, Ricky. The assessment sheet will be used for both the nomination and the selection of the winners. And these are the criterions. Graphics. The jury will evaluate the graphic style, the atmosphere of the game world, and character design, and the game's color scheme in terms of aesthetics. Gameplay. Game mechanics are crucial for the gaming experience and will therefore be closely scrutinized. Creativity, sophisticated controls, and appropriate difficulty levels will positively affect the rating. Sound. A good soundtrack adds to every gaming experience and allows players to fully immerse themselves in the game world. Games with fitting, atmospheric, and undistorted music and soundscape will receive positive reviews. Innovation. This category rewards innovative concepts, game elements, and technologies. Entertainment. When it comes to assessing the quality of games, it's obviously very important that gamers get their money's worth. Among other things, the jury look at the fun factor, the richness and variety, and how long the game entertains the players. Technological progress. If the game uses the latest technologies, it will score points in this category.
Okay.
Sales prospects. Is this game already hyped? Has it been recommended, or are there other reasons to expect a big success in sales? In this case, the jury can award points in this category.
Well, it's done. Just give it to Elden Ring.
Elden Ring. So Elden Ring.
It doesn't say about the 10-minute. Like, that's just a rumor. And and that 10-minute gameplay might just be for the juries or the insiders. Like us, we might not get to see it.
Yeah, true.
Because like based on that, like they have to at least get to see it or play it in one form or the other, right?
Yeah.
Because otherwise, they can't really they can't give the awards to Elden Ring.
Honestly, that's probably the only game that really is of note on all of these nominations.
Well, who knows? We'll see what else they showcase there.
Well, these are the nominations.
Nominations, right? So I see like Tales. I think I see Halo and a few other ones. So,
but these aren't the games that will be. These aren't all the games that we'll see at Gamescom. But
there will be more.
Like Bandai, they're spending the money to get these nominations. Elden Ring for best action adventure. Elden Ring for best role playing.
How do they get this for games that
Elden Ring for best Xbox game. Elden Ring for best PlayStation game.
Man, Bandai spending the money. They're getting both Elden Ring and Tales of Horizon there.
And House of Ashes.
That is Bandai.
Look. Okay, look for Sony PlayStation.
All three.
All three of them. Like it's a win-win-win. Like Bandai's coming out with a win.
Just like they talk about rigged. They bought themselves an award.
Yeah.
How come they have games that haven't come out yet?
There you go. It's for you. That's for you, Timo.
It's probably like a gameplay footage or a demo for the people working there.
Yeah. I see Apex and Black Desert. That's gonna be close.
It's gonna be Apex. Come on. But yeah, Gamescom is in 2 days, and I'm definitely very excited to see what's going on.
Yeah, isn't
Gamescom?
Isn't Jeff Keighley somewhat involved as well?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like this is his thing.
Oh, that's his thing. Okay.
I'm pretty sure this is his thing. So at least he's a very big part of it.
Does that mean we can expect something related to a certain Hideo
Death Stranding?
Kojima?
Definitely.
They're gonna show more for Death Stranding for sure.
Hold on. Let me see if I can. Did I change the thing? Yes, I did.
Kojima working on anything right now, or does anybody knows of?
Who?
Kojima, is he working on anything right now that anyone's aware of?
Well, all we know is
the director's cut.
Death Stranding director's cut. We don't know anything else.
He must be working on something else though.
He's got to be.
Okay, here. Tweet from Jeff Keighley 8 hours ago. Just 48 hours until Gamescom opening night live streams around the world with Call of Duty Vanguard, Death Stranding director's cut, Far Cry 6, Genshin Impact, Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, Saints Row, Shifu, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and so much more.
That beat 'em up game. Okay.
Yeah. So that's in 2 days. And I believe that's at 2 p.m. Eastern. Yes. 11
on Wednesday, right?
Yeah, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, and all of these other ones.
Are you gonna stream it?
I'm going to stream it. Let me stream, man.
Yes. That's what I'm expecting. Because I don't want to stream that. I don't want to just sit there and that's too much work for me. I was talking to a few other people who frequent those type of streams.
Yeah,
we're all saying like, none of us want to stream it. And I was like, Mojo might stream it, and then
I'll stream it.
Let's chill there.
We'll hang out.
What time is it?
2 p.m. Eastern.
2 p.m. Wednesday.
Okay. So, moving on to our last topic. This one's just for you, Ricky. Cowboy Bebop, live action Netflix adaptation. I know this is a anime that's close to your heart. We get a first look at Cowboy Bebop. We got a first look.
Boy.
We got some screens. We got some screenshots.
Oh, okay, I'll brace myself.
All right, I'm gonna go straight to the Twitter of Cowboy Bebop Netflix, where they announced it.
Oh, it's Netflix. Oh boy.
Okay.
See, Timo knows, man. He knows already.
3,
Oh, no.
2. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, I'm just okay. We're gonna get into it. Do you see it?
Wait, I still only see Twitter. Is it supposed to be a video?
Nope.
No, just screenshots.
We just have
screenshots.
we have screenshots. Okay, Spike Spiegel, just a humble bounty hunter. Meet Spike Spiegel at John Cho, Jet Black, Mustafa Shakir, and Faye Valentine, Daniela Pineda, in Cowboy Bebop, premiering November 19, only on Netflix.
Don't be surprised if I
Here's some
start break down in
pictures.
tears.
Here's some pictures. How does this make you feel? Give me some feedback. You know who John Cho is?
Nope.
No, he's a good actor. I'll tell you that. I like him. He's a talented actor. He's got a dynamic range of characters in his arsenal. He's in comedies. He's in dramas. He's in thrillers. He's a good actor. Does this fit the aesthetic of Spike?
It's okay. I'll say it's better than I expected.
Okay,
it's much better than I expected.
Okay.
But then again, it's Spike.
Next.
It's a very hard character to portray
Okay, interesting.
because he has that kind of like very. How do we even explain him? He's a bit like very handsome, but very like goofy, laid back looking. But at the same time, he has that a bit of mystery to it.
Hey, John Cho, I think this is a good.
Like I said, it's better than I expected. It's better than I expected, but
yeah. You know what?
It's not quite Spike.
You know what Harold and Kumar is?
Yes.
It's Harold.
I
I've
only heard of the movies. I never watched it.
He was great in that hilarious movie. He's also in this movie where I forgot what it is. It's a thriller movie where he's basically searching for his daughter, and everything is the cinematography was like social media, like webcams and security camera type stuff, and it was an interesting movie. It was a good movie. I enjoyed it, and he was a great actor in that.
Interesting.
Here's the whole ensemble.
They have the scene at the church.
I've not watched Cowboy Bebop, so I have no idea what.
Neither have I. So
I just threw this in. This was like a last minute thing I saw. I was like, okay, I'm gonna throw this in for Ricky.
I highly recommend it. If you haven't seen it, watch it.
What is this?
They are inside their ship right now.
They're in their ship.
Because it's the setting is in the future. Everyone has their own spaceship, so these is inside their spaceship right now.
The church training. I like his suit. Is this what his suit looks like in the anime? This looks
Yes.
That's dope.
Although he doesn't usually button up his suit, does he? Not really. I don't think he does.
That's dope as hell. All right.
And that's the thing. Like when you look at Spike in anime form, he looks messy, but at the same time, it's just dripping with style.
He's got drip.
He's got drip, but it's at the same time it's very messy and laid back. It's hard to explain. Like once you watch an anime, you understand. Like okay, this guy, he's got style, but it's not something easily to replicate.
Mm-hmm. How does this look? How does this look to you?
Jet.
Jet and Faye.
Who plays Faye?
Daniela Pineda. I don't know.
Oh, Jet is alright. Faye. I don't know. It's well. I would say it looks better than I thought. Like it looks better than I thought. I was expecting the worst, but still, it's hard to live up to the original style. Like they've done a pretty good job.
Listen to this. What you need to know about Cowboy Bebop, based on the beloved 1998 anime, stars John Cho, Mustafa Shakir, and Daniela Pineda. Original score composed by Icon Yoko Kano. Does that ring a bell to you?
Yes, at least they got that right. Thank you.
Okay.
At least they got that right.
Consulted by original director
actually
Shinichiro Watanabe.
Consulted. Well, I don't know how much that means, but yeah, at least they consulted him. But the fact that it's Netflix, though, it's Netflix. Do you know the track record of Netflix anime adaptation?
No. Like
it's 0 out of 10. I'll give it that. It's 0 out of 10.
What's another Netflix adaptation?
They adapted. I believe they adapted Bleach, which was well, it's terrible, but not like 0 out of 10. It's like 2 out of 10. Fullmetal Alchemist, which was absolute trash. There's also Death Note. Please don't watch that. That's off the top of my head. There might be a few more. Anything Netflix does related to anime, it's never good. Well, I shouldn't say that because Castlevania is actually decent. Castlevania is decent. Devilman Crybaby is decent, but everything else, it's mediocre to trash.
Is there any way to really make anime into live adaptation?
I think you have to stay away from like the mythical stuff, the kind of fantasy stuff.
Kinda, yeah. It's hard to do. It's pretty hard.
How grounded is Cowboy Bebop? I know it's just like it's sci-fi and
it's very grounded. Like it's like all the action you get. It's all like what you expect from like regular humans.
It's not 3 days doing this.
No. Like they are legit regular human beings. Well, like there's one exception. Like there's some pretty weird and wild shit. But overall, I would say like 90% of the show it's grounded. The only thing unrealistic about it is the setting, which is future sci-fi.
Yeah. I think that might be in their favor because like all of those animes that you've mentioned, they are all, they have some mysticalness to it.
Kinda, well, except for Death Note. Like Death Note has the non-human creature, but everything else about the show, it's grounded, and they still somehow manage to royally mess that up. But based on the casting, what they look like, the costumes and stuff, I was like, okay.
Promising.
I'll give it a chance.
I like John Cho. Okay, like he's a good actor.
Although at the end of the day, I still prefer them. Like we had the anime, isn't that good enough? Just leave it alone. Anime is unique in it for a reason.
Like this is for me. Okay, like anime, right? Anime. This will introduce me to Cowboy Bebop. All right.
Watch the show first.
Watch the show first.
Yes.
It's 1998.
Well, I'll watch this first.
I don't know if it would age well, bro.
No, man, it's not like super clean anything, but in terms of animation and voice acting, story, it's top notch. It's really good. If anything, I would say the animation, like especially the fight scenes, is better than like 80% of the stuff, or even 90% of the stuff you see these days. It's that good. It is that good. Only thing is like that. Only thing that will bother you guys, your younger people, is that it's not in 1080p. It's it's released during a time where we're still using CRTs. And the screen size is 4:3. It's not 16:9. So as long as you can put up with that, you will enjoy it.
Okay. Will you watch this?
I will give it a shot.
Okay.
I might actually watch it. I'm not a big anime guy.
See, that's what I'm saying. This is for a different type of audience. Like this is more.
Like, I think I'll watch it. I like sci-fi stuff. This is up my alley.
Yeah.
If the acting's okay, I think I'll watch it.
I think John Cho will do a good job.
We'll see. Because it's hard to adapt. It's hard to adapt. It's not because of the setting, but because of the characters. Because the characters are very unique that it's a little hard to portray in live action.
Okay, before we end, tell me, describe Spike to me.
How the hell do I describe Spike? Like I said, he is on the surface. He is a bit of a goofball, very laid back, not very motivated human being, just doing enough to survive. Loves to like crack a few jokes, but at the same time, he has a kind of dark past, and he has that aura of mystery to it.
Okay.
And he's also an expert in, I believe, Jeet Kune Do, which is the style Bruce Lee practices. So when he fights, he does like fancy martial arts.
Okay.
And coupled with his look, because the live action doesn't really get across that the hairstyle. When you look at his hairstyle, it looks like a really messy afro, kind of like an afro. But for some reason, it looks stylish as hell. When you look at him, it's like, this guy is cool. But when you try to do that in real life, it does not work.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let me
look up a picture of Spike from the anime, then you'll see what I mean.
Let me see here. Oh, I see it. Bunch of pictures here. Spike Spiegel. I see. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I think John Cho will do a good job. Like what you described. He's played characters.
We'll see.
That is exactly how you described.
And it kind of doesn't help that in the anime, at least in the Japanese version, he was voiced by who is widely regarded as the all-time best voice actor in the industry. So that's it's a pretty high bar to.
Okay,
who
would you cast? Who would you cast?
I don't know. I legit do not know. I can't think of a person who can really fulfill that role. Yeah, because it's a big shoe to fill.
Okay, I guess when does this come out? November 19th.
In the way of character design, I think they got pretty close.
It's not bad. Like that's what I'm saying. Like they look a lot better than I expected. Because I was expecting the worst, and it turned out to be decent.
Yeah.
Although there's one more character they didn't show. I don't know how they're gonna deal with that.
There's a fourth character, right?
There is a fourth character. Yeah. There's like a little child.
Yeah, she's redhead or something.
Yep.
All right. Well, that was the last topic that we were talking about. We're gonna find out what Cowboy Bebop is really all about. November 19th. Has been. Huh?
I'm just gonna say I'm looking forward to the soundtrack. The fact that they got Yoko Kanno to compose the soundtrack, woo! It's Cowboy Bebop has one of the best anime soundtrack. To the point I actually got the vinyl for it.
All right.
Okay.
You know, like this could be one of the best adaptations. We'll see.
We'll see. Because Netflix, they have
not a high bar though, according to what you're saying.
Even like actual anime Netflix, quote unquote, produced, they've all been trash. Like even like really well beloved series, they butchered it. They completely ruined it. So, yeah. Anyways,
that has been the Ludens Query report for August 23rd, 2021. You can find this on our Ludens Query podcast. No, wait, Ludens Query channel on YouTube.
On YouTube,
where we will do more of these reports, do live reactions to it. I bring in the news and I get reactions from my friends here, Ricky and Timo. Ricky, where can people find you?
You can find me at twitch.tv/BaconBeercan. I stream pretty regularly, like 4 to 5 times a week, usually at nighttime, Eastern time. So yeah, come hang out if you want to chat, I guess. Yeah.
All right. And Timo, where can people find you?
I'm on Instagram daily at TheHybridGeek. I post video game content on there as well as TikTok. And I stream 11 p.m. on Mondays and Wednesdays.
All right, and again, I am Moses. You can find me on twitch.tv/MojoCritical, streaming these recordings when we do these reports.
Let's go.
I'm sure we will be back after the Gamescom 2021 live showcase in 2 days. I will stream that definitely 2 p.m. Eastern. So come by, hang out, and we'll catch some reveals. Nice. For me, I'm trying to get to grips with accepting spoilers, but whatever.
Nah.
It is what it is. Occupational hazard. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Peace out, Ludens. We'll catch you in the next reports.
See ya.